On October 23, 2077, at 6:43 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, the world stopped. Everyone's worst fears had come true. Within 2 hours, the majority of the world was engulfed by nuclear weapons, reducing it to a barren wasteland and setting the stage for a new world to be born. For the California and Nevada territories, the Great War didn't just end an era, it reset the clock on one of the most advanced civilizations on the planet. While the rest of the world burned, the West Coast became a vacuum, a high-tech graveyard of aerospace hubs, silicon dreams, and corporate secrets buried under a layer of radioactive glass. This wasn't a random disaster. From the boneyard of Los Angeles to the northern reaches of California, the West was a primary target for a reason. It was the heart of the American military-industrial complex and the true birthplace of the Vault-Tec vision. In the year 2102, the wasteland was still fragile, but deep beneath the Mariposa military base, a new kind of evolution was being forced. A man named Richard Moreau encountered a biological agent of terrifying potential, the forced evolutionary virus. By injecting this virus repeatedly, he grew into a sentient mass of biological and mechanical parts, seeking to unify other survivors. He didn't see himself as a tyrant, but as a gardener, pruning away the weaknesses of humanity to create the supermutant, a creature capable of enduring the radiation that now bathed the coast. Yet, even the most meticulously planned ecosystem has its flaws. In 2016 too, a lone vault dweller from Vault 13 discovered something funny about the Master's biological dead end. His new, perfect species was sterile. With the Master's dream reduced to cinders, the supermutants scattered into the desert, leaving the stage open for a different kind of growth. Nature abhors a vacuum. Out of the dust of a small farming village called Shady Sands, a new social organism began to take shape. This was the new California Republic. Under the steady hand of a leader named Tandy, these survivors did something remarkable. They stopped hiding. Like a coral reef building upon itself, the Republic expanded. They reclaimed the boneyard, regulated the trade routes of the hub, and established a rule of law that hadn't been seen since the world was green. By the mid-2000s, this NCR had become the undisputed dominant force of the West, a sprawling, hungry entity that required more and more territory and resources just to sustain its own weight. But survival is rarely a straight line. Out in the deep waters of the Pacific, a relic of the old world had survived, an entity perhaps even more formidable than the new California Republic. This monster was called the Enclave. These were the descendants of the world's former masters, and they viewed the new life on the coast as nothing more than a weed to be pulled. In 2242, they attempted to release a toxin that would have ended all life on the mainland, a second cleansing. But they underestimated the resourcefulness of the tribals they despised. A descendant of that same Vault 13 lineage boarded their steel fortress and brought it crashing into the sea. The enclave was broken, leaving the NCR to march east, unchallenged, toward the heat of the Mojave. In the Mojave, the expansion finally slowed. Here, the Republic encountered two other apex predators, the disciplined, brutal tribes of Caesar's Legion and the cold, calculated genius of Robert House. For years, they circled one another around the Hoover Dam, a concrete prize that promised the one thing more valuable than gold: power. This was a stalemate of ideologies, a moment where the future of the West Coast hung in the balance of a single, unlucky courier. The battles here would exhaust the Republic and set the stage for a tragic conclusion. We now find ourselves in a new era of silence. The heart of the Republic, Shady Sands, is gone, reclaimed by the fire that its founders had tried so hard to escape. Vault-Tec, the very corporation that promised safety, had waited in the dark and finally struck. Today, the West Coast is a fractured place once more. The Brotherhood of Steel sails the skies in their great iron birds, scavenging the bones of what remains. Civilization has retreated, or has it? The year is now 2296, and we observe a new vault dweller emerging to the surface. With the wasteland ahead of them, their history is theirs to write.